everyone. Welcome to the new Thoroughbred Weekly on MSG Plus. Great having you on board. I'm Jason Blewett. Eric Donovan is alongside. We're coming to you from the Clubhouse Studio at Aqueduct Racetrack in South Ozone Park, Queens. And really a great show lined up, Eric. We've got races of the week first and foremost, and we'll make some stops in California. A rare trip for us, actually, to Turfway Park, and we'll even go across the pond and make a quick stop in London.
Plenty of Kentucky Derby action to talk about. A lot of key prep races. The first Kentucky Derby Challenge Stakes at Kempton Park in England. We'll also head to Turfway Park, take a look at the Lanes End and the Rushway, a couple of other three-year-old prep races, some other races for other types of horses, trips and traps, a lot going on in the show.
But first, we are joined on the telephone by Trainer Scott Volk, and Scott has certainly enjoyed a big-time winter here, winning just about 30% of his races from a good amount of starters. And good morning, Scott. It's Jason and Eric in the Clubhouse Studio at Aqueduct. How are you?
Well, just fine. Good morning.
Now, I think, in my opinion, you've pretty much enjoyed a breakout winter here in New York. Why don't you talk a little bit about your background, how you got started in racing, and how long you've been training for?
Well, I started off in 1970 at Finger Lakes, where I was born. I was a groom, and things are a little different there. You just work your way up, and I went away in the wintertime, and I went to Miami for a while. I called and worked for a lot of people, and I bought my first horse in, I believe, 1977, and that's when I started training on my own, and it's been going on and on ever since.
Now, you've had a great meet here on the inner track, Scott. You've trained a lot in Jersey, I guess, too. Do you see yourself gaining more business off the success you've had here on the inner track?
Basically, everything's been about the same. I do have a lot of high-profile Jersey owners, and I only carry about 15 in New York. When I go back to Jersey, I'll have 20.
And we are taking a look at Cherokee Gem breaking her maiden the other day. Certainly an impressive effort. You had claimed her a couple starts back, I believe, for $40,000. What'd you like about her the day you claimed her?
Well, she hits the board every time she runs, and she's a 3-year-old, and that's the future of racing, 3-year-olds. You have conditions win races.
And we also will take a look at One Tough Bell. She was pretty game the other day. How about the setup she got in the race? I expected her to be loose on the lead in that 6 furlong sprint. Victorious Dream, who's actually got the lead in the race replay we're looking at, shot out. But I thought One Tough Bell showed a lot of heart and determination, chasing throughout and then wearing her down.
Yeah, that was good, because Victorious Dream's got a high turn of speed, and there's no way we could stay with her. The rider did a very good job. Lopez there just to stalk her, and hopefully she gave in, and we got lucky and won.
Scott, it seems like you have a ton of winners here on the inner track that have been in sprint races. Do you prefer to train sprinters over rooters, or is this the way the races have come up and the horses you have in your barn right now?
Well, it's just whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
Now, you said, I guess you've got about 15 horses here in New York. I think people have got to take notice of the success you've had on the inner track. Are you looking to maybe gain some owners, or are you comfortable having the guys and the number of horses that you currently have, or would you like to expand the barn a little bit?
Well, having 25 horses is quite a bit. So whatever, again, this is the deal. What happens, what will happen, you know what I'm saying.
Okay. One last question for you, Scott. I think probably the best horse in the inner track that you've run so far has been Unwritten. Would you agree with that? And what might be in store for him next?
Well, right now Unwritten is, we don't know how good he is. Unwritten is a gift from the gods. We claimed him for $7,500, and he continues to get better. And right now he could be the best New Jersey bred in training, and I have all those little stakes coming up all throughout the summer at Monmouth Park.
So you got a lot of options for him down there.
I got a lot of options for him down there, where he'll be running with state breds, and you know what happens when you run with state breds.
Boy, oh boy, $7,500 claim. I said it last week after he won last Sunday at Aqueduct that he might just be the best New Jersey bred in training, if not the best Jersey bred sprinter. But a great claim. And Scott, thanks for joining us here on Thoroughbred Weekly, and we'll certainly see you in the winner's circle sometime soon at the Big A.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thanks again. All right, Eric, we'll switch gears now. We'll get into races of the week, and we've got to start with the road to the Kentucky Derby. And again, I think a rare trip for us to Turfway Park, and we'll also make that stop at Kempton Park in London.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at the Kentucky Derby Challenge Stakes now from Kempton Racecourse. Kind of a controversial race in that the winner of this race gets an automatic berth in the Kentucky Derby. It's a Class 2, Group 2, $115,000 purse, 3-year-olds going a mile and an eighth. Here's the call.
Full. And they're off.
in the Kentucky Derby Challenge Stakes. Close Alliance broke slowly. Keep the Boat Afloat runs green to the outside as they charge down towards the first turn. Sokotoa takes them to the clubhouse turn with Harshed towards the inside, pulling quite hard, racing in second. Wheeled Park is out in third, followed by Agent Parmigiano in fourth position. Then Talking Hands in fifth. Towards the inside, Akhenaten is racing in sixth. Champagne, the purple colours, is in seventh. Marquis G is 4 wide into the turn, racing now in 8th place. Follow them by Mafaz, who's racing in 9th. Spring of Fame is in 10th. They're not going a great gallop in the early stages. Deposer is then towards the outside. Mastery is being ridden with restraint. So too is Close Alliance, who's last but one. And Keep the Boat Afloat is last of the 14-strong field as they make the run down the back stretch and on towards halfway. Sokotoa is out in front now by an easy length and a half. Towards the outside, racing in second is Harshed. Back in third is Mafaz, who is now making ground, but he will be 3 horses wide as they go into the far turn. To the inside, Agent Parmigiano is racing just in fourth, followed through by Marquis G, between horses Wheeled Park, and then making ground on the outside Close Alliance, but he has had a brutal trip and is being pushed along now by Jimmy Fortune as now they race inside the final 3 furlongs, and as they do so, it is Sokotoa who now has a contested lead of ahead. Harshed is there in second. To the outside in third is Mafaz, who's now just been pushed along. Still wide is Close Alliance. Marquis G is next. Wheeled Park cuts towards the inside. Agent Parmigiano was hampered, and so too was Akhenaten, who has switched off heels. Mastery staying on towards the outside. Champagne also tries to pick up. They're inside the final furlong now. Sokotoa is holding on grimly on the outside. Here comes Mafaz, an all-out drive. Mastery on the scene late, and also Spring of Fame racing up towards the line. It was Mafaz who wins the ticket. It's very
Tight finish for
second.
5 or so horses, separated by about a length and a half. The win happened to go to the Shadwell-owned Mafaz, trained by John Goslin, who of course won the Breeders' Cup Classic, upset the BC Classic last October at Santa Anita with Ravens Pass. Jockey Richard Hills was aboard. We'll expand a little more on this race in a few moments, but it sounds like Mafaz will run in the bluegrass prior to running into the Kentucky Derby if that's the route they choose to do. Let's go to Turfway now. We'll hit Turfway's Lane's End, run Saturday, a grade 2 for $500,000 at a mile and a furlong.
We'll be ready to go in the Lane's End. 9 to 5 co-favorites. They're at the post. All in line. Ready to go here. And they're off in the Lane's End. From between horses, that's Orthodox, who moves out for the lead with Parade Clown on the inside. Then up from the center of the track, Proceed B is gaining, followed between horses by Flying Private. Westside Bernie a bit closer than Jack Spratt. Up on the outside, Dynamite Bob as they move into the turn. It is Orthodox who sets the pace. Orthodox draws off under Jesus Castanon, opens the lead out to 2.5. Proceed B is second. Down along the rail, Parade Clown runs third. Then from the outside, Flying Private fourth. It's a length back. Moving up from between horses, Jack Spratt fifth by ahead, Dynamite Bob sixth. Westside Bernie right there in seventh. Then from the outside, that's Bruce and Autumn. Down along the rail, Biddle Road is right there with AP Cardinal. Length and a half, Hold Me Back. Lock Do is the trailer after a half and 47 and 4. And it's Orthodox still on an uncontested lead. Has it 2 lengths. Here comes Parade Clown, who gains ground from the rail. Parade Clown now moves into second by a head. Then still on the outside, that's gaining ground. That's Proceed B. Proceed B from the outside now moves by and gets the lead from Parade Clown down along the inside second. Then up from the center of the track, gaining ground. Here comes Hold Me Back from between horses, Flying Private. It's Hold Me Back with Flying Private, but Hold Me Back under Kenta Sormo. An impressive 3-year-old debut. Hold Me Back for Bill Mott, ridden by Kenta Sormo, wins the Lane's End.
Hold Me Back
away.
might be an artificial surface specialist now, 3 for 3 on the artificial surfaces. His only race on the dirt was a 5th place finish in the Remsen here at Aqueduct in November, but Hold Me Back gets back on the polytrack and wins, paying just over $20 for Kenta Sormo and trainer Bill Mott. Flying Private finishing second at a big price, and Proceed B was third.